I'm not even really a thriller reader, but this caught me completely off guard. King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby. I'm giving it 4.25 out of 5 stars. This rocked. Let's get into it. King of Ashes follows Roman, a financial advisor who has to go back to his hometown to deal with some stuff going on with his father and some family drama, and ends up having to help out his brother get out of some tough spots with some local gangs. So what works? For me, the biggest surprise was the prose. It was amazing. A lot of other thrillers I've read have been pretty flat or just really gritty, and it was gritty, it was entertaining, but I wasn't expecting it to be so controlled. Cosby does a great job. It is full of craft in the prose level. He knows exactly when to add some flourish to make it a little more purple and let an emotion land so that it's poetic, but then he immediately pulls it back in to something sharp, raw, and functional so that this kind of momentum and tension that this novel is building always stays there. The prose is never overwritten. It's not ever just showing off. All of it feels very intentional, and I loved the craft. The themes in this book also surprised me a lot. It dives into things like class, morality, masculinity, sexuality, how your past constantly shapes you despite you trying to escape it, family obligation. I mean, it really dives into a lot, and I thought it was really well done. Cosby does a great job making you feel like there's this constant feeling that all the characters' decisions are kind of influenced and made by this kind of trauma or their past, and it always influences kind of where they're going, and this suffocating feeling about it. The main characters, these kind of 3 siblings, all feel compelling. Roman is by far the deepest as we sit with his internality the most, and he definitely seems the most layered, and you kind of see the most progression within Roman. Dante and Nevaeh are followed, but I definitely think that they were a little thinner than Roman himself. The structure of the book also works really well for me. It starts off really strong, but I like that it doesn't get to the chaos right away. It slowly builds tension. There's still a lot of unanswered questions, and it kind of builds into this grand crescendo at the end. The POV switches in this book also I loved. You kind of get to see into the lives and the minds of some of the siblings and even some side characters, and that really just made the book feel really cinematic for me. And even though this plot is chaotic, it is gritty, it is violent, it is brutal, it also has a lot of reflection and poetic moments that really let those emotions land and breathe. The ending worked really well for me as well. I was worried about how it would kind of end up, but the tragedy of it all I loved. Now, what doesn't work? I do think some of the side characters and antagonists were weaker in comparison to Roman, some leaning into kind of this just archetypal function. Some of the gang leaders, and especially Khalil, he's cold. I loved his character. He's really tough. He's cool, but he seemed like too convenient of a solution for a lot of what was going on in the book. Despite this being really well done, and I would say literary as far as what it's doing with its themes and its prose, it still is working inside of the constraints and mechanics of what the thriller genre is, and that is still kind of visible in this book. And while I think the pacing in this book is done really well, I do think there's stretches that feel repetitive or predictable a bit. This book does dive into a lot of things, but I don't think all of those themes were fully explored to cross into masterpiece territory for me personally, but they do really dive in and reflect on a lot of them. But even with all those critiques, I was fully invested the entire time. The level of craft in the prose and this kind of storytelling was phenomenal. I absolutely enjoyed it. I mean, it had its limitations. I have some of my complaints, but I definitely need to check out more of S.A. Cosby. Now, from a reader experience, this feels like a fire that is starting, that everyone is convinced that they have time to stop, but it's just inevitable. It is going to keep burning and burning and burning. Everything burns. It has grit, it has violence, it has action, it has love, intimate moments, and it is literary, reflective, and poetic. Now, who's this for? If you like gritty noir, if you like crime books, if you like family tragedies, if you like books that have the perfect blend of beautiful poetic prose, but also gripping scenes that have you sitting on the edge of your seat, this is absolutely for you. King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby, that's 4.25 out of 5 for me. Truthfully, this has been the perfect blend of literary prose, thematic depth, and absolutely page-turning intensity that I've read in a while.